Hey, Gavox here. So, with Madden 21 coming in like a month, a little bit over, I want to do 10 bold predictions for that game. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of reveal streams here coming. They're going to do beta feedback on the 28th, but my 10 bold predictions. Let's start off with number one. These are in no way ordered. They're just 10 different ones. So, first one, user rushing, but not how you expect. So a lot of people in the beta, we've been learning a lot about the D-line moves and how they've buffed that, and now you can get like better pressure. And obviously a lot of them are very powerful, and you get some really quick pressure using the D-line. I think, just like we saw a little bit in Madden 20, I'm just going to go like a nickel formation here. We saw this a lot happen with like rollout corner people, and really we saw it a lot just overall. What's going to happen? So people are going to... that's the offensive controller. All right. People are going to take these players, and instead of rushing on the D-line with the superstar abilities, which you can do, of course, I think there's a potential because you can always double team the guy on the D-line, right? You just, on the offense line, you just LB, or double team is down on the right stick, and then you kind of like move it to who you want to double team. So you can always identify and double team the guy with like the superstar ability there. What's going to happen, I think, is I think this will be a pretty decent... way of getting pressure, because right now users aren't that great in the field, okay, because they can't go back and forth. Their agility isn't great. Now it really determines... sorry, this controller is going to vibrate and sound like, I don't know, it's a large fart. But people are going to go around the edge here because offensive line don't really recognize that as well. I think that'll be a decent scheme. Now the a thing was like, are you going to be able to cut and get around super well around this edge? Because even if they block a halfback, I think you can still kind of screw it. Like, so here, I'll do a max protection here. Just straight up max pro, so, wait, I guess I can show off the, like that. And then, like, if they snap it, you can still kind of go, I got messed up there. But anyways, you can still kind of get around it with the proper, rush. So I think if they max pro, then you snap it, you can go around this way. Because you can get around they did a nice job. They're kind of screwing me. But... nice job by the offensive line picking me up. I think that's going to be an okay way of getting pressure. I think that might be in the meta a little bit because there's really, in the beta, there's really no other good way of getting pressure. But, we always do seem to find a blitz. So, but saying a blitz is going to become powerful is not very bold. It's more italics, which I prefer because bold is just too much in my face. Sorry. All right, next one. This is something from the beta, the meta. I think it's definitely going to happen, and something that I really should have a different quarterback for. But everybody's like, all right, every year, it takes them the next year for them to fix the problems, right? Don't we just want a year where, who's fast? Dude, I don't know. I was going to do I guess we'll do a rollout corner with Brady. But rollout corners are still going to be in the meta, right? As easy as offense was during the beta, rollout corners are still here. Like, these things aren't motion it over. I guess I could have done this out of anything. And then he gets that. So I think this'll still be in the meta. That was a really bad job, but you get the idea. That's still going to come back. I still think that's going to be effective this next year. Now you're going to be like, well, we can set our depth to our DBs. And yes, that is true. It is very true. You can set them. Then they're just going to kind of take off with the quarterback. Contains still weren't very good during the beta. Sadly, they were not that effective. You could still cut them. You could still get around them. So I think rollout corners and rollout offenses are still going to be a big part in escape artist quarterbacks. Even though Tom Brady in Madden 21 looks powerful as hell with his hot route master at launch, I think it's still going to be an escape artist meta, which is less of a bold prediction because we've always had a scrambling quarterback meta. We have always been at war with Eurasia. All right, next up. Next bold prediction. I think this is the last of the gameplay bold predictions. The match coverages are going to be a thing. I think match coverages, because they did an okay job this last year and zones weren't good at all. Although I think they'll buff zones. I think match coverages, like palms and quarters, I think those will be the ones because man coverage is better. And these kind of look like man coverage, right? Who do I throw this to? Here? Like who is open? I mean, you really have to have very specific things to be different match coverages. So I feel like match coverages might make a thing. If you can't blitz them early on and zone, like just standard cover 3, cover 4, right? Like, who's open? I guess this guy was open, wasn't he? That guy screwed up. That guy was really bad. So I guess there was somebody open there underneath. But like he was running into his zone. He was the zone. The posts were into zones. But anyways, there was one open. I feel like match coverages might be a pretty big deal early on because of how much tighter man coverage was. So anyways, also wheel routes didn't really work against man in the beta. So that's one bold. I think match coverages might be pretty neat next year. All right, next up, little off gameplay here. I totally believe Theme Diamonds will come back and wow us again. I'm excited for it. I don't know how like bold or out there this is, but I totally expect them to up their game again in 21 on Legends. Now, I could very well be wrong. They could bring back a lot of the same guys as 20. We can get bored with them. But I think that's like a lot of the MUT itself, and we'll get to that as another bold prediction, it's gotten a little stagnant. So, like, I think they've been wowing us a lot with, like, players and their attributes, but, like, the MUT mode hasn't, shoot. All right, that's the next bold prediction. The MUT mode won't evolve that much from 20 to 21, right? We've seen some decent evolutions from house rules in the past. We've gotten salary cap, draft champions added in. I think the Yard took a lot away from the development, but I think Madden Ultimate Team itself won't be that different from 20. It's going to be basically the same thing. I would assume pretty similar menus, if not the same, but maybe some tweaks there. It looks like they're getting comfortable. The card art looks horrendous, but it's still got those dumbass borders, and it's like a McDonald's drive-through window. I tweeted that of a card art where you can only see half of it now, but I guess McDonald's drive-through thing is like visible too. Whatever. It falls apart upon closer inspection, my analogy. So don't think, just listen to the raspy sounds of the Fox voice. So with that, I don't think there's going to be a big change, right? I think Yard took a lot of development time away from MUT, and we're basically going to be wild with Legends because of that. And I think Theme Diamonds will be nice. But, like, that's kind of what we want, right? Is to play with old favorite players. Now, who do I want as a Steelers fan? Obviously, every legendary Steeler all time. We've already got players like Mean Joe Green that are coming out of the game every year, Franco Harris. But I want Jack Ham, Jack Lambert, Carnell Lake, Lloyd back. Kevin Green was in the game. I want Levon Kirkland. I want Casey Hampton. I want Aaron Smith. There's so many great players. Hines Ward of the past. So, like, there's a lot of great Theme Diamond-esque players for each team that I think they're going to deliver more of them because they saw our positive feedback. But we'll see how expensive a lot of them were to sign and bring into the game. So that's bold prediction. Number 4 and 5. MUT's not going to change, but the Theme Diamonds are going to be kind of cool. Number 6. I think abilities. Wrong one. I think there will be overpowered abilities that won't get patched and underpowered abilities that won't get patched either, right? Like, I think, here's the thing about overpowered abilities. I think those are the ones that need to be looked at first. We don't often talk about underpowered ones that maybe should be a little bit more powerful to give us more choice, right? Like, there's a lot of things that we know, like Escape Art is powerful. They gotta nerf that. Set Feet Lead, I guess that's a new one. Conductor. People haven't been using Conductor lately because there's been like a Conductor glitch last few years, and really, I haven't really felt the need to go with Conductors like I have in the past. Quick draws there. But, like, some of the stuff that's, like, underpowered, like Comeback, you know? That's new. I'm not going to talk about that. What would be an underpowered one? I guess Gutsy Scrambler is okay. I don't know about underpowered. I play it okay. But, like, not many people choose it. Should they buff underpowered ones? I think maybe a little to bring a little bit more balance, bring a little bit more choice to the game, and nerf a little bit of the overpowered ones. But I think what they're going to do is kind of launch with them how they are and barely touch them through the year. Is that bold, though? It's more italics, like I said. It's kind of just like, it's decent. I think we've seen a history of that, so to project that going forward is pretty safe on my part. Not really bold. God damn it, Fox. But yes, abilities will be overpowered and not patched, and we're going to be sad about it all year, and that meta is not going to change much all year again. But that's not a bold prediction. That's what they did last year. All right, next one. I think the Yard, this game mode, the Yard, will overtake Superstar KO and even potentially MUT. But I don't think it's going to be fully fleshed out for a couple years. I don't think it overtakes MUT this next year. I still think MUT will be the most popular by playtime. I think the most people will actually dip themselves in franchise because franchise has got much more casual of an audience. But MUT will have more playtime, like I believe that's already happening. But I think the Yard is going to be maybe in a few years. It depends on how many resources they put into it going forward. Because I think in the corporate world and development world, like, you put in something new and exciting, you get accolades, right? But to maintain it and keep improving on that, you don't get as many, like, round of applauses for making it better year to year. That's what's happened to franchise mode. Really, nobody's been, like, the champion of it at EA, and nobody's been getting paid to, like, improve franchise mode because it's just there. So they get paid to make face of the franchise. They get paid to make Superstar KO. That's really exciting and really new and cool, and everybody's talking about it at the office. And then now the Yard, everybody's talking about the Yard. So, like, next year, it'll get fleshed out a little bit more, but then it'll kind of like fall by the wayside. Same what happened with like draft champions and that year 2 we saw, whereas like the year 1 it came out, it was updated a lot, and then they basically forgot about it year 2 until we made a big rumbling. Then competitive brought it in, and then they only really updated it during competitive season. So it took a basically a community outcry for DC and draft champions to be updated. Now franchise got their community outcry, so they're going to be updated, it looks like, in the next year. But that's what I'm going to say as my number 7. Franchise mode will actually get looked at this year and improved upon, right? Because franchise going from 20 to 21 got almost nothing, which basically angered a lot of the audience of the game, right? Because a lot of people play franchise still. They buy Madden for the franchise mode. We see YouTubers like Bangle put out videos specifically on franchise about rebuilding teams, doing so much with the teams of the NFL, that I feel like they're actually going to look at it this year. And while we did get some decent patches, franchise was like offline for like, 3 weeks last year. And like, people complain about it a little bit, but it did take way too long to bring it back on for online franchises. So I think franchise will start getting implemented more, but I think we don't see anything big until the 21 launch. I think that's basically what franchise should be focused on, right? We got them to respond. We got their lead guy, their not creative director, the one above creative director, executive producer or something like that. I forgot Sean Grady's actual title. He responded to it, so I think they're actually going to put some action into franchise. But look for it, the big improvements going into 21, although they will implement it in 20. So that's a bold prediction because everybody's basically, no, they're not going to do shit to franchise even with their outcry. I do think they will do things to franchise. All right, next bold prediction, I think this is number 7. The NFL season will go on and we'll get a team of the week like normal. I do think, I don't think the NFL really cares about their players' safety for COVID, and they're going to keep the season going. And I think the players also don't really care that much. They're in shape. They obviously care a little bit. There's some that care more than others. But I do think the NFL season will happen like normal. And I don't know if that's a bold prediction or not because it's already trending that way. Nobody's really saying, hey, the NFL shouldn't happen. We already got other sports back. NBA's doing a bubble. NFL, for some reason, isn't doing that. Isn't being more safe. Isn't going down to New Zealand. I think I saw a headline, which was a funny one. Go to New Zealand, just put them in a bubble there. But I think it'll go on as normal. And even if people get sick, they'll just quarantine them and stuff. And I do think we'll get Team of the Week in MUT as normal going forward. I really hope that Team of the Week is balanced against the Legends this year with their card overalls. But that's up for me. And I'm just going to say yes because it's bold. I think Team of the Week will be relevant this year for players. And it won't be as boring as last year and the year before. What is this, number 9? Wait, number 8 was... I think that last one was number 8, because I did 2 for 1 almost with Yard and Franchise. That was a 2 first. So this next one will be number 9. MUT will be essentially unchanged from 20 because I spent their time... Wait, no, I already did that one. God damn it. I'm missing one. User rushing, rollout corners, match coverages, theme diamonds, and we'll enjoy the Legends released. Abilities... The Yard, the NFL season will go on with Team of the Week. Franchise mode will get looked at this year. MUT's going to be essentially unchanged from 20. And I don't know what they're spending their MUT development time on. Don't ask me. They just kind of take summer vacations. And then number 10. I think people will actually like the game, right? It's kind of hard to say that right now with so many people being so pessimistic, skeptic. With the amount of negativity going online right now, both between franchise mode, the ratings that we're seeing, a lot of people shitting on Madden, and rightfully so. Madden's kind of treated the gamer and, a lot of franchise players, a lot of players long-term players of the franchise terribly. So I think people will enjoy it. I think I'll enjoy it for the most part. Obviously, I don't make my videos about gumdrops and sugar cubes and everything nice and... fun in the world, although I do a little bit, but I focus on all the things that can improve, and that's what we tend to do as humans sometimes. A little bit, maybe too much, is focus on the negativity, but I think, we'll enjoy it for the most part, but there will be some really annoying things, right? Actually playing the game. Madden's one of those games where the more you play it, the more you get annoyed by those things. So once we start to play it a lot more, it'll start, nagging on us, the Madden will be set, we'll be facing the same plays over and over. Since there's a rumor that they got rid of the Earl Thomas film study ability that you saw in my last video, where you kind of see the plays if they spam. And I was really kind of looking forward to a Madden where play spam wasn't like a top tier strategy, but they got rid of that because some people complained. And that's game balance, right? Listen to your audience, whether I agree with it or not. I'm not the only voice out there. So I think people will like the game. At least at launch, until we find the big issues with it, which we will. But that's the 10 bold predictions for Madden 21. What do you guys got below? What do you guys think? What do you think is going to be crazy next year? Are you looking forward to it? Are you not? Thanks for watching. Thumbs up if you liked it. Thumbs down if you didn't. I'll see you tomorrow.